Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm here for Therm O Web today on their YouTube channel, and I want to show you how to make your own metallic epoxy dots. So instead of buying lots of packages of different colors of metallic epoxy dots, you can use the Therm O Web's iCraft Deco Foil Liquid Adhesive and some foil transfer sheets and make any color that you would like. So let's get started and let me show you how to do this. First, I have the iCraft Deco Foil Liquid Adhesive. This dries clear and dimensional. I also have a piece of parchment paper, and Therm O Web sells packs of parchment paper to use with their foil sheets and their adhesives and to run them through your laminator. So I'm going to take a piece of that parchment and this liquid adhesive, and I'm going to make different sized dots all over this parchment sheet. You can make them large or small. Just know that the bigger that you make them, the longer that they take to dry. I like to leave them dry for at least 2 hours. Sometimes I'll make a sheet like this and then I'll just save it overnight. This way I make sure it is definitely dry. You'll know that it's dry once that white adhesive turns completely clear. So right now they're obviously still really wet. So let's get started on putting together some card bases. I have the Jelly Bean Soup Shades of Color collection, which has a bunch of fun die cuts that have some sentiments that would be perfect for cards. I have the pattern paper and some other stickers as well. So I'm going to use my metallic dots to complement some of my cards. I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock. This is the Gina K for Therm O Web white cardstock, and I'm cutting it vertically in half so that I'm going to have 2 sheets so that I have 4 different card bases. I'm going to score all of these in half at 5.5 inches so that I will have 4 card bases in white cardstock that are 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, now I'm putting aside some die cuts, some pattern paper, and I'm going to use my Therm O Web Memory Runner XL to adhere my pattern paper down to my card bases. I've cut them some into strips, some into complete card panels, just a mix depending on what the design looked like and what I kind of envisioned for the card design. This one has a little border around the entire card panel. Now that I have my card bases and card panels, I'm going to layer some 3x4 cards and some die cuts on top of these. The really great thing about these cards is that most of it is super simple. It's just layering some die cuts and some cardstock and some pattern paper, and then the fun part is adding those metallic dots. So I'm going to use my Memory Runner XL, which is my favorite tape runner, to adhere the pattern paper, and I'm going to use some Therm O Web 3D Zots to pop up some of these die cuts. I really like the 3D Zots because they're clear, so you can't see them from behind. They are really flexible, so if you have some nonstick scissors, you can cut them down into strips so that you can hide them behind die cuts like this hello. Sometimes though, I want a little bit more dimension. So what I am using for that is some of the Therm O Web iCraft 3D foam squares. These have a ton of dimensions, so they pop up way more than the 3D Zots do. Sometimes that's perfect, like for this 3x4 card. I thought that was absolutely awesome to have that extra dimension there. Once my card bases, card panels, die cuts, and 3x4 cards are all done, I am going to do 2 different techniques. This first technique is applying the liquid adhesive directly to your card. So you can see that I laid out some sequins just to give myself an idea of where I wanted my metallic dots, and then I'm going to just apply the liquid adhesive directly to my card. This is a really simple way of doing it, as long as you know exactly where you want it, because you're not going to get this adhesive off once it's down. So you can see there that they have a nice dome to them and they will dry clear, and then you'll be able to foil them. So for the card that I put the liquid adhesive directly on the card, I am now taking some Turquoise C Gina K Designs for Therm O Web foils, and I'm using a bone folder because I really want to make sure that I get foil all over that adhesive, and because it's kind of in a rounded shape, it's tough to do with your finger. So next I'm going to use some of the bubblegum foil, and I'm going to apply it directly to those dots that were on the parchment. And you can see they peel right off because we used parchment paper. And the beauty of doing it this way is that you can pick any color that you have of foil and foil your dots, and then you can decide exactly where you want them on the card. So it's not pre-stuck down. You do have to apply the adhesive, so it does add that extra step, but sometimes I really like to maneuver them around in the color that they're going to be to figure out exactly where I want them. And this was the perfect example. I mean, I did mess with where I wanted those two little metallic pink dots there. So I'm going to use some Therm O Web Mixed Media Liquid Adhesive. This is perfect for adhering these little metallic epoxy dots that we created. And I'm going to put a little dot of the adhesive down on the card and then lay the little dot on top. So you can see either way works perfectly, and they both have lots of dimension and lots of shine, and it's much cheaper to buy a bottle of liquid adhesive and a bunch of foils than to buy a bunch of different colors of metallic pre-made embellishments. So I hope you give this technique a try. If you're interested in the products that I used, they will all be linked down below. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.